Hey, Mark Rodriguez here. With me is...
TV channel, also known as Jupiter, and call me Wendy. Hi, guys.
Yep, you're watching the review Sanctum, where everything and anything may be reviewed. Today we're going to be talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that just came out. And this is, of course, opening weekend. So once again, we're going to go into spoilers. So be careful because, if you haven't seen the movie yet, be warned, there will be spoilers. But real quick before we start, we did get these cool Mortal Kombat cups that you can show off here. They weren't available last week, so, they weren't in the Mortal Kombat review. We just got them now. There's one of Katana here.
And Johnny Cage.
Yep. And, of course, they're like the two main characters of the movie. So that's kind of perfect.
There is a Liu Kang, but, he blink and he miss him.
Yeah, really. And, we'll be showing them all. There's going to be a podcast episode about the movie.
Eventually.
Yep, eventually. So you'll see them more there. But anyways, I'm going to leave the floor here to Wendy because I know there's a series, The Mandalorian, and of course everyone was in love with the Baby Yoda because it wasn't until the second season, I believe, that we actually found out that the character was named Grogu, but for the first season he was just there, being adorable. Everyone called him Baby Yoda. He was like, the character that was everywhere and stuff like that. So
I was drawn to Mando.
Okay, so I knew about it because it's like, how can you not know about it? Because all the memes and all over the Facebooks and the whatevers. But anyways, Wendy has seen at least the first two seasons, so she can kind of kick off to there. But I do want to say just my personal thing, without seeing The Mandalorian, but of course, knowing of Star Wars, who doesn't know Star Wars, right? I did enjoy the movie. Just want to say it's real, action-packed. It's easy to follow plot and everything. And for anyone that wants to see the movie, check it out. But you don't really know all the Star Wars stuff or never seen the show. It's very easy to get into. You don't really you're not lost because you haven't seen the show. But
even if you haven't seen the other movies, I would say because The Mandalorian itself takes, if you've watched any of the series, you can tell. It was easy to place where it would go after the original trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy. You can tell they're talking about the fall of the Empire, which is what happened in the Return of the Jedi, and all that stuff, and how the world is years later, and a lot of crime, a lot of bounty hunting, all that good old stuff.
Yeah, and the movie does start out explaining, for people that don't know, that the Empire has fallen, but there's still, of course, lots of bad guys all over the place. And
that still wants to revive the Empire.
Yeah, exactly. So the Mandalorian and now his official apprentice, Grogu, are going out there to find him and stop him and stuff. And I'll leave the plot parts to you and everything.
Alright, so the main plot is that at this point, Mando or Darjean, his real name. But anyway, Mando and Grogu, they're on a mission. They're trying to find old ex-Empire members for the most part, and having to bring them in. And he's working for the Old Republic, sort of like I guess you could say the rebels that came together that were against the Empire, those on Luke and Leia and Han's side, and they're trying to bring in all those that want to revive the Empire. So Mando is a bounty hunter. Sometimes things get messy with him where he has to just burn it all down.
Yep. And this Old Republic is led by Sigourney Weaver because I guess Ripley just never stayed out of outer space.
Yeah. And that's really just the main plot, and it gets to this point where they're looking for this guy. And this character that they end up looking for and getting, he is a character from another part of the Star Wars verse, but I couldn't tell you. There's just too much lore with Star Wars, honestly. So I'm missing a lot of things. I haven't seen every single solitary thing Star Wars for obvious reasons, just too much of it. It's like the Marvel movies when you get to the point where you're trying to keep it all together. Then you had Avengers and then Thor and Iron. Yeah, I never saw all of them, so I was always lost most of the time.
Yeah, so the main mission is, at least for the movie, is that there's this super mysterious evil guy from the Empire that is they don't even know what he looks like, and they don't even know if he's alive or whatever, and the only people that have this information are these twins related to the Hutts.
The Hutts. Because his aunt and his uncle.
Yeah, because after Jabba the Hutt died, I guess these guys are kind of taking over that spot. But what happens is that their nephew, right?
Was Jabba. It was Jabba's son. Yeah. So Jabba's son, Rudda, he gets they said he was missing, and they offered that they said they would give him the information that he needs, but he will only give it in person if Mando, his nickname, which I still think of Carl Weathers every time he's just when I hear Mando. But when they'll give him information if they can bring the nephew back, because they said they miss him. The last time they saw him, he was small. That's how long he's been missing, and they knew exactly where he was. So that's where Mando and Grogu end up going. Yeah. So they go there, and this I forgot what type of planet it was.
It was like a moon or something.
A moon, like a smuggler's moon, like a lot of bad illegal activities, I suppose, will go on there. And he found them. It's sort of like an arena type thing, and he's a fighter. And, he's a big old boy now.
Yeah. So
when Mando offered to break him free, to let him, he found out that he was pretty much had a contract, and he's like indebted to the main guy there, the Janu or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And he has to fight. So all these fights, and then he has like one more fight to go. Then he'll be able to be free and do whatever he wanted. Main thing he says, he wanted to get out of his father's shadow, and he said that his aunt and uncle, those twins, that they just want to take over, and since he's still alive, that threatens them to have, I guess, whatever power that Jabba had. Yeah. So he claimed that they want to kill him and want to hurt him, but of course Mando's like, I got a job to do, I got to bring you back,
Yeah. And not only that, the person that ran the whole, like, I guess, underground pit fighter type thing, we kept joking, he looked like Kingpin mixed with Dana White. Yep.
Yeah.
A whole lot of power slapping.
Oh, yeah. But it turns out that actually he was planning on having him killed anyway. He said he wasn't going to let him out of his contract, so he was just going to have him killed.
Yeah, it was going to be like a never-ending gauntlet. They just keep sending more guys after him until someone finally kills him.
Yeah, and Mando found all that out, but when he went to tell him, he didn't believe him. So, the guards ended up capturing Mando and Grogu, and he put them in the pit to fight each other. Mm-hmm. And what's the name said, and then Mando came up with a good idea. He said he yielded so that Rudder could be freed. And then Dana Kingpin said, no, we're going to fight this to the death. And they sent in all the other things because he was planning on having him killed anyway. Yeah. It was a throne fight.
All these giant-ass monsters, all kinds of creatures, little electrical creature, all these weird things coming at them with different weapons and stuff.
Yeah, so they worked together to try to get out of that. And what's his name? Doug ended up capturing him, and he was going to take him back to the twins. But then he was telling him he brought up the fact that he wanted to, they're after somebody else. He needed information from the twins, but as part of that bargain, he had to take him back. And he said, oh no, he's looking for a Janu. Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was Raga the Hut? Yeah, he gave the information to find the guy that they were looking for because he doesn't want to go back to his family. They're going to practically kill him to take over the role and all that stuff. So they went after the main guy. They captured him and stuff. And they sent him back to Sigourney Weaver and them. But the bad thing is, I was kind of confused at first because the movie was still maybe like an hour or so in. And I'm like, okay, so they already got the main guy they were after. And I was thinking like, okay, well, this is like the big mission of the movie, and they're already like turning him in. So what about the rest of the movie?
But then I was telling you too, but like I said, but he's not going back to those twins now because there's no need for it.
Yeah.
And then that's what everything happened.
The Hutts want him. Yeah,
the Hutts went after him. So they sent a bounty hunter after him.
It was like a foot elite guard.
Yeah,
if you're a fan of the Turtles and the Mirage comics, and especially because there was lots of parts that was kind of like, dark and rainy, and you see the lightning. When you see the silhouette, that's the foot elite guard with the hat and everything. Yeah, so who they sent after was Imbo. And if anyone knows Imbo, like I said, I never watched Clone Wars. I mean, I remember when it was on TV. Remember when Cartoon Network was showing it. But I said during that time, I didn't have cable. So I would see something every once in a while. Mm-hmm. During that particular time in my life, I didn't have cable. So
We saw. I said, I know this character. I've seen this character before. I know him. So, like I said, if you've seen the Clone Wars animated series or the Clone Wars stuff, you'll know this character. So he went and he captured Mando, take him back to the Rut. Not the Rut, but to
the Hutts.
The Hutts, and also that you found out that they also captured their nephew.
Yeah. The only one missing, we didn't see peaks of the Hutt though.
Oh, well, he starved to death in his car.
Oh god. Yeah. So anyways, they actually removed the Mandalorian's helmet and they dumped him into like some underwater pit or something with this giant ass monster thing.
It was a dragon. It was a dragon snake.
Yeah, dragon snake.
And for those who know the Mandalorian lore or whatever it is, the thing with their little clan is that you are never, ever, ever supposed to take your helmet off. You cannot let anybody see your face. No matter the circumstance, no matter what. And like at the end of the first season, what's his name was injured so bad, he did not want to take his helmet off, but he actually had to consent and give in to have his helmet removed just so he could, get that healing he needed before they fought Darth what's-his-face. And the second season, the same thing. His helmet had to come off. I just can't remember why. And the third season probably had to come off again for some.
Yeah. But those who see him without his helmet, they must die.
Yeah, you must die. And this, especially like I said, if it's an enemy who sees his face, they must die.
So then what happens is that even though Mando did survive the fight with the dragon snake?
Dragon snake.
He still got bitten and he got poisoned. So Grogu actually came back to try to help him, but he was poisoned, he was knocked out and everything.
And then they did the thing that actually became a thing thanks to the nonsense that is the Disney trilogy series, which I do not like to acknowledge exists, because in my mind it doesn't, it shouldn't. But force healing.
Yeah.
So Grogu used the force healing ability to help Mando.
At least the wounds, yeah.
To heal his wounds, but he was still knocked out from the poison. And there's this other character. Oh, and there's this other character that Grogu met, because during this time of the movie, Grogu was pretty much by himself, and he's really trying to get Mando back to normal. So he's stealing food, fish from this guy, this other creature thing, and he was like, "Oh, so you escaped the Hutts, huh? Yeah, man, they bad news. You were stealing my fish, weren't you?" He gave him some of the fish, and he said, and then Imbo showed up with his little hound dog thing, and then he was like, and he told Grogu to hide, and he figured out from what was going on, because Imbo, he's a silent type, he doesn't talk very much, so he was telling him, like, he figured out what was going on. And he said, and then after they left, he called Grogu back out. He was saying, "So you guys escaped the Hutts, and and that guy's after y'all. I see, and that he was poisoned, huh? Here." And he made this little antidote like thing. He said, "Here, it might be too late, but give this to your partner or whatever." Like that, and
so, Grogu fed him the stuff, but it still took like maybe a day or so to finally like fully heal and recover. And of course now it was it was the thing. They found a spaceship. They found a ship that originally had the
gun runner. It was a gun runner. So the Washington got a gun runner for Ruddo so that he can get away, so he can like hang low, so he doesn't get caught by his armed uncle. But of course that was shot down obviously, and and they found that ship.
So they got the ship, and the thing is, it's like we got a choice. We could either run, but the Hutts are always going to be looking for us. They're never going to stop till they find us. We could go back and fight.
And of course we had to go back and fight. But anyway, wasn't it? Dean had a reason to go back. They saw his face. He has to take him out.
Yeah.
As they say, this is the way.
So we just have like the big epic battle. They go back. They face the Hutts. They faced you said Embo was his name?
Embo. Yeah.
Oh, it was a real cool fight between those two. Lots of martial arts action and stuff. And then like the Sigourney Weaver and her people are all flying back.
The Old Republic. Yeah.
Yep. And Mando gave the order to just blow the place up because they were assuming that they'll be like gone out of there by the time they do it. So of course you know how it is. They're cutting it super close. the Hut guy wakes up again because Grogu sets him free. So now he has to fight against the twins, and the twins want him dead. So we see lots of giant slug things rolling around and everything. While Mando's fighting.
It's just funny because everything goes so fast. Wait, which one's the right one? Which one is the right one? You know, like which one do you shoot?
Yeah. So yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff. And everything, and I still think that Sigourney Weaver filmed all her rocket scenes.
We'll get into that.
Like in one afternoon.
We'll get into that one. We'll get into that one.
Yeah, and there you go. Big explosion, big final battle. I mean, I don't want to go to too many details in the end, but that's like the big climax of it. Like all the stuff happening at once, all the fighting, and the extra thing of you got to get out in time before the Weaver people blow it all up and stuff like that. So well, like I said at the beginning, that I like the movie, very action-packed, very cool, and I like that for someone that hasn't seen the series, you could just jump right in. I mean, that opening little paragraph that said about the Empire's gone, there's bad guys out there, Mando's looking for them, so, they don't, bring back the Empire and stuff. And even in the beginning, there was, these bad guys talking about, oh, yes, we must bring the glorious Empire back and all that. That already kind of sets the tone. You already kind of know what's it going to be about. You don't have to be I watched every episode of The Mandalorian twice.
Or every single solitary Star Wars main series Star Wars film.
Yeah. So for me, it was very easy to get into, and I know enough about Star Wars to know about the clone troopers and the Hutts and that kind of stuff.
Now you talk about some of the other characters, like when Mando got to the planet that Rudder was on. The moon that Rudder was on, he ran into this guy that was running I guess a diner or a food truck. A food truck. He had a food truck, and it was Martin Scorsese doing the voice. I know that voice. No, I don't know anything, man. You don't want to talk to me. I don't know anything. Okay, I was asking Mark here. Is that Scorsese?
Yeah.
And then Zeb was Steve Bloom. His the guy the other one that's the pilot. And I know he's from another part of the Star Wars verse, but I can't remember. There's just too much. I can't remember with most of these characters. So I do apologize. And like I said, even though I've seen the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, I saw them at the time that they were out, so I don't remember too well. And then there was such a huge gap between season 2 and season 3. I never got around to watching season 3, even though I was excited to watch it when it came out. And then I was watching Boba Fett series. I gave up. Same with the Obi-Wan series. It just was not for me. But The Mandalorian held my interest.
Yeah.
And then real life got in the way. I just never went back to it.
Yeah. Now there's one nitpick of the movie, and I'm sure you can agree.
Well, before we I have a couple of nitpicks, but I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to the actors. So everyone that made up the Old Republic, Sigourney Weaver is the leader, and all the people that are around her. It seemed like that they weren't given good direction.
Emoting properly.
Yeah, there was hardly any emotion or anything. Even Sigourney Weaver's she came across as bothered to even be there. Even when she brought Johnny in, and she was upset because Mando had did not take Rudder to the Hutts like he was supposed to. They said, but I got the guy you were looking for. That we were supposed to get information from them to get. I made a call and I got the dude. Here, look, it's Kingpin. He don't have celery, but I have Kingpin here.
Okay.
Sorry. Anyway, Spider-Woman reference. But yeah, he that he got him, but Sigourney was like, the acting, we know she's a good actress. We know she is a good actress. There was none of that here.
And then the final scene, because they're flying, the Republic guys are flying, so it's just scenes of them in the cockpit and stuff. A lot of it was just hey, go get him. Yep, there he is. Okay, open fire.
The other guys that did no sense of urgency or anything. I mean, you hear fighter pilots. I mean, I don't know. It just sounded so off. I mean, I'm not talking about.
None of them said do a barrel roll. That else.
Oh gosh, you. No, I mean, I'm not expecting you to go be all all right, we're gonna kick some butt. Yeah, let's go, team. I'm not expecting anything like that. Just something, especially with her as a leader. She should, have that authority voice. It's okay, guys, we're gonna have to. Mando said we're gonna blow up the tunnel. Let's go. It's like that, as opposed to, okay, Mando says we gotta go and get the tunnel, we gotta make this urgent, we gotta get this right. I mean, something like that. I'm not an actress.
Yeah, and no urgencies. We're just gonna fight against these super dangerous Jabba the Hutt related people and they're super dangerous pilots. No big deal, whatever. Did I use a microwave on before I left the place?
Microwave? Ooh, golly.
Or whatever.
No, leave the oven on or something.
Yeah. We know what I mean. Did I get the dishwasher on before I flew out?
As a matter of fact, this is messed up, but when Mando brought Janu in to Weaver's character, and the way she was reacting, it came across to me that maybe she was a double agent, and that's why she didn't really want him there, and that she was benefiting from it, benefiting from them not having him, or something like that, or something with the Hutts, because that was my impression because of how she was acting. Not like urgency, because okay, they bring in Janu, and he didn't do the mission right. She should have been like, wow, you actually got him? I mean, we weren't expecting this or something, but the Hutts, they're not gonna like this. You're supposed to take the nephew to them or something. She seemed more bothered and annoyed that he got the top guy that they were looking for. She should have been able to emote concern and gratitude at the same. She should have been able to emote that. She did not do that. It was more like she was annoyed that he did his job. That, and like it's just, that was the weak point of this film to me as far as acting goes. Now the other issue, it was too dark.
Yeah, and we mean like literally dark, not dark in tone. There are way too many scenes where they're in some underground area or some other poorly lit area, or it's of course middle of the night, pitch black, where you just can't tell what the fuck is going on. And that kind of ruins the mood a little bit, because it's just.
I can see maybe they were doing it for like technical capabilities, because there's a lot of with the tech and maybe the puppeteer, if they're doing any puppeteering at all, it just probably made it a little easier for them to do a darker scene.
Yeah. But it was just done.
It was just too much throughout the film, where it was just too many dark places. Like you said, we just couldn't see everything. We couldn't figure out if what we were seeing was correct. Things like that.
Yeah, they're just like dark areas of the spaceship, dark underground areas. The underwater scene goes just all dark, and then they're in the planet in the middle of the night, pitch black. It's just too many scenes or too many circumstances where they're in areas where, I know it would make sense for it to be dark, but of course, for us, the audience benefit
it still should be lit enough so that we can still see what's going on, even though to the characters themselves, it's dark.
Yeah, exactly. And one scene or two or something maybe, but there was just too many scenes of that in the movie.
I think a good thing was that Grogu, the whole Grogu thing, they didn't overdo it with him.
Yeah.
It was a good balance with him. It's not like, everybody think Grogu, oh, he's so cute. But they didn't have him so many little crazy little Grogu-isms.
Yeah, he did his little cute stuff here and there, but it wasn't like Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters. It wasn't overdone.
Yeah.
In there. Enough to make the Grogu fans be like, woo, and have their little plushies and stuff, but not too much to ruin the plot or take the movie. But it is interesting though, because of course with the Mandalorian down and out, because the poison and stuff, it does show how useful Grogu is to the dynamic. He's not just a little tag along. He still helps out in moments where.
He does. And the thing is, by doing that, you can see how much he's grown from when the series started. Where what's his name had from the actual show, where he had to protect him a lot. And then you see that he's taking care of him. Mm-hmm. Amando's taking care of him. And I remember when he, even in the show, when he used that Force thing the first time, he didn't realize it, but he was using the Force, and what's name was like, he lifted the monster that was coming after him, then he was like,
yeah.
Because, he used to, every time he used it, was just so much energy he was exerting, and he fell asleep, so, and that's why, he was, never mind. I'm going to get into that. But, yeah.
Yeah. But overall, it was a good movie. And those are the only nitpicks. Some of the acting with the Republic members, and
that was
especially the flying scenes. That was really
And then
Oh,
it's
the
just
wife's
like,
making meatloaf again. You know.
I was like, oh darn, forgot to pick up the eggs from the store. You know? Oh no,
because there's no
the milk.
urgency. They're going up against, the Hutt's elite pilots that I'm so
I know, and all
dangerous.
the droids they're sending out after them, and
Yeah.
it's like.
And of course, like I said, they did too many like dark scenes where you can't really tell what the fuck is going on. You can have some darkness, but when it gets to the point where you have no idea what the characters are doing, that's the thing.
The only thing I kind of wonder though, because like I said, because this is supposed to be, before anything that happens with the Disney trilogy, but after the original trilogy, I just wonder if it's going to have any connection to it or anything in here that's connected to it. Because in all honesty, I have hardly any memories of the Disney trilogy because, I block out trauma. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know if you've realized it, but I really, really hate it.
Yeah. And of course, we'll see. I'm not sure if it's going to be like another season or not of The Mandalorian to see if there's anything from this movie that carries over to that or any other like Disney movie, down the line that somehow makes references to this.
It seems like The Mandalorian is the only extra Disney thing they've actually kind of done sort of right. Because I said, like I said, I can't say for Obi-Wan because like I said, I just got so bored of it. But like I said, Boba Fett, they screwed that up so bad.
Oh boy.
I mean, excuse my language, they pussified his character.
Oh my goodness. Demonetized, if we were monetized. But yeah. But basically speaking, that was, at least for this movie here, I want to say it was a fun time. Just full nitpicks and stuff like that.
Like I said, you don't need to see the show because, like I said, it tells you what it is right off the bat, and that's very good that you see it showing it for the people who aren't familiar with the franchise or the series, and those who are familiar with it, they can maybe pick up more references here and there.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, this is Mark Rodriguez signing off.
And sorry for this disjointed review, but this is Joopy Channel, so this is Joopy. Bye, guys.
Yep, and this is the review Sanctum where everything and anything may be reviewed, and
remember, this is the way.
Yes, this is indeed the way. See you next time, guys.
Bye.